Rock the life.
Motor's been running since '68, riding the crazy train, knocking down gates. Yeah, we were born to be wild. It's my life, rocking as an 80s child. Our Beatles were leopards and snakes. Youth go wild, falling angels, sunset strip. I wanna rock, feel the noise. Hey, 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 rock the life.
Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Katya.
I'm Amy.
And Amy, today we are diving deep into music fandom, epic live shows, and stories that have stuck and they're kind of legendary. In this one, we're talking about the M3 Festival 2025 that took place at the Merriweather Post Pavilion. And with us, we have Diana, who has she's a concert veteran. You can't help the candle to everything she does. Everything she
Oh
does.
my gosh. I so wish.
She has it. So her perspective, we wanted to hear what she thought about the festival because it was, I think, pretty stacked this year. And, one of the things I think people were looking out for was to see how David Lee Roth was going to perform. The comeback of Diamond Dave. We had Sebastian Bach. We had, who else did we have there? We had the German band Accept played. We had a Rat reunion.
Yeah.
So I think, all in all, almost this one felt a little bit like a time capsule of 80s music, but they're still out there playing and can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. We had Steve Brown launch the whole thing with the
how could I forget
pre-show
that?
with Pete Evick, which we'll hear more about in future episodes. So that's cool.
We should have been to that.
Yeah, we really, I know we should have.
Oh,
You guys,
Ace Frehley played too.
Yeah, you're right.
Great weekend.
I can't wait to dive into this. And you guys, we are this episode just now meeting Diana. We were introduced to her from our friend Brenda. And you know what I absolutely can pick up on, but she's real subtle with it in here. I think girl has sass. I think I picked up on we got to go to some shows with her.
I'm ready.
You know what? I think we'd all get along really, really well. I liked her a lot. So,
and I think everyone will too. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Diana.
Hi, Diana. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. Yeah. We are so excited to meet you because we have actually heard about you a number of times from Brenda. So I have to ask you, how long have you known Brenda?
About a year and a half now. I met her at a Skid Row show in Tucson. She kind of walked up and I thought she was with one group of people. They thought she was with me. And we were talking with Eric and she came up and then we ended up seeing each other in line going into the show. And I had the VIP and she was regular. And so I saved a spot for her and we've been hanging out at shows ever since.
That is exactly how Amy and I met.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But we've been doing this together we've been going to concerts for
Just don't count. It's just
years together.
Shh. It's actually more than
a year and a half.
It's like 35. A year and a half. A year and a half.
A year and a half. Okay, so I have to also ask you, Diana, do you remember your first concert?
Yep. Yngwie Malmsteen. My sister took me.
How old were you?
1986.
Oh, awesome. That's a great first concert, though.
15.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Where, was it a huge show or like a club show or?
It was an arena show. We had nosebleeds. My whole, most of my high school concerts, they were always nosebleeds, and I didn't know any better. And then once you discover front row, nothing else will do. It kind of sucks at that point. It's
Right?
like if I'm in
Barricade or
second
bust.
row, I'm kind of mad.
But you have to, if you moved your way up, right? I mean, you don't want to be that kid who starts with like the front row seats. You have to like want it to like move up in
Yeah.
there. So
Like I see people bring their little kids, they're like 7, 8 years old, and they've got them front row center. I'm like, well, they're screwed for life.
I know they'll.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard to move back once you've been up there. It's
I
yeah.
I've been known to take the good seats and send my kids to the nosebleeds.
It's all about
It's
appreciation.
no, it's like work your way up. I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
think. And I was just like, and it's usually a concert I really, really want to go to. I was like, if it's something they want, it's something they'll work for and move their way up to like pay for the good seats. And I don't know. I think
Remember
they
when we didn't
appreciate it.
have to pay for the good seats? We could just talk our way into the good seats? What the heck has happened? Can we
Or
bring
when
that
they were all
back?
the same price, so people didn't care as much about you sneaking
Yeah.
your way up. You know, now they're paying $1,000 for those seats. So, which I
I
keep
know.
away from
Yeah,
those.
it's just wild. Okay, so now,
Yeah.
Dana, I have to ask you, what concerts have you been to recently, leaving out M3?
Uh, well, a few days ago, it was Todd Kearns and Friends. Where there's a bunch of shows right now saying goodbye to Club Vamped. It's the big rock and roll club out here. And so Todd Kearns, he plays a couple times a year there. And so he's got different friends that come out, and Sebastian Bach came up on stage. So I've got those 3 songs that he did recorded. And the week before that was in London, and I saw a lot of shows. It was intended to go see Michael Schenker with Eric Gronwall singing. So I had 2 of those shows, went with a bunch of fans that flew in from all over. During that week, Eclipse was also playing, so I went there. That was the first day I flew in. And one of the last days, there was a big festival with Swedish bands. So it was The Cruel Intentions, Crash Diet, and Crazy Licks. So yeah, I went to 4 shows in the week I was there.
Okay, Diana, the next time you hop over to England, please let me know and I will come over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually
Wow.
just came back yesterday from Manchester to go see a band, the Milltown Brothers, play up near Manchester. So that was fun. Okay, so now, okay, no, it was first, I want to go back to this Club Vamp. Is it shutting down in Vegas?
Yeah, they are putting it up for sale, and the very last show is the end of June. Count 77, which is Danny Coker, the owner. His band is playing, and there's going to be I'm imagining a lot of guest stars showing up at that one. But in the next month, there's going to be Night Ranger. A couple of days, we've got Faster Pussycat with Bane. And then there is Bane. Or Faster Pussycat. What was that reaction?
Both really, but Vane.
Well, we're
Vane.
like,
We're
we
Bay
love
Area
Vane.
girls, so it's like Vane.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen them once at a festival like 10 years ago, so I'm excited to see them.
Oh,
Oh man.
So
I think that when venues that are like classic shut down. Oof.
No, it's hard. It's like why? Why you gotta
let's
sell
get
it?
$4 million together and go buy it.
Yeah, okay. Done. RTLmerch.com. That'll do it, right?
Yeah,
Just that.
That's it. Yeah. T-shirt sales, it'll be great. Okay, so now, Diana, what we really wanted to talk to you about is something that Amy and I have been wanting to go to for forever, and that is M3.
Yeah. What
So
day did you arrive?
That was the week before the London trip. And with my work schedule, I had to miss Friday, the first day, which was Sebastian Bach. But I saw him a couple days ago. I see him quite a bit, actually, because I'm in Vegas. So so I missed Friday and went Saturday and Sunday. So and I had to write the band's names down because there's so many you forget.
Yep.
But there was Steven Adler, Slaughter, Winger, Accept, and David Lee Roth. Those were the Saturday. And then on Sunday, we had Vixen, Lita Ford, Great White, Warrant, Ace Frehley, and Stephen Piercy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So the thing with M3 that's kind of weird, and what I didn't do this year and I regret, is staying at the Meriwether Lake House. That's where all the bands stay. So you want to stay there, but it's a lot of money. But if you're going that far, I regret not doing it this time. I did it a couple years ago and it was great, but I was only there one night and that's a whole other story. That was a crazy overnight trip.
I love it. So how many times have you gone to M3?
I think this was only my third time because the first time I went was one day, and then the next year I was going to Europe for 2 weeks, so I decided to skip M3, but then I've gone the last 2 years.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
But they do meet and greets for all of the bands. The problem is the time they're doing the meet and greets is when all the other bands are on stage.
Oh.
So you have to miss seeing the live bands, and the sad thing is the first 3 rows center are these expensive rock star seats that are really hard to get. And those were empty through almost the whole show up until the headliners because they were all back and doing the meet and greets. So I didn't do any meet and greets this time around because I wanted to see all the live bands, even though I've seen them a ton of times. Like Warren, I don't even know how many times I've seen them, and Vixen and everything. But, I like the live bands, so I'd rather do that than stand in this little line just to get a quick autograph, and it goes in a box somewhere, and that's it. So.
How many people are at M3, you think?
I'm not really sure.
It's not a
Maybe
huge venue,
3,000-4,000.
though, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's got the seats in the front, and then there's a big lawn in the back. But every freaking year, it seems like it rains, so I feel really bad for those people out on the lawn.
Yeah, right. Been there.
So what time do the shows start at M3? How long are you there?
Starts first band's probably around 1:00 or so, 1 or 2, and it goes until almost 11, and they don't let you out.
Oh.
So yeah.
So like once you're in, you're in?
Stuck in there. Yeah. You can bring a little bag of food if you want in or something, but yeah, it's very expensive inside. And that's something that makes me like this other festival that you guys need to look into going to is the Monsters on the Mountain Festival in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's like all 80s bands. It's like 3 days long as well. They only do it every other year, so they're not doing it this year. But that one you can go in and out. The hotels are right across the street, and there's a huge, main street with all kinds of restaurants and bars to go to. Nice. And so that one, I like that one even more than M3.
Okay. When you do like your meet and greet, like if you were to choose to do that, just coming from somebody who hasn't been, do you buy those passes individually or can you just buy a bulk one and go see who you want?
No, it's just they've got it separated into 2. You've got your rock star people in the first 3 rows. Those are like $1,000 tickets each. And so they have a separate meet and greet for them so that they have a shorter line. And then the rest, it's the way the seating is, like pretty much the whole rest of the pavilion seating is called VIP. It's like $100 more than these regular seats. And they've opened it up so much, it's almost everybody, which is why you're waiting an hour in line, you might not get in to that. And it's just you choose which ones you want to go to.
All right.
So.
And they do it all in the venue.
Format. Yeah.
Well, they'd
it's
have
all
to. Yeah, they'd have
right
to
there. You can see this long line, and I was just like, oh, not this year.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask, who were you most excited for going in?
Probably David Lee Roth, just because I haven't seen him since, way back in the late 80s, early 90s by himself. and everyone was pretty much expecting a train wreck, and if he
Yeah.
was going to show up at all. But that was one that I haven't seen. Everybody else on the list I've seen multiple times, like almost every year.
Wow.
Except that one I hadn't seen for a while, and they were one of the top bands as well. But David Lee Roth, you kind of had to be there. If you watch the videos, it's like, no, it's
Well, they
not
take
good. But
snippets and
yeah, I've got video on my YouTube channel of his. But I mean, you just kind of had to be there for the whole atmosphere.
Did
So.
he bring the energy like the Diamond Dave? Like,
Oh yeah, Diamond Dave showed up. Yeah, he was a showman.
Nice. Oh, that's fun. So, what's your YouTube channel? Let's let everybody.
yeah,
It's at Youth Gone Wild, which is spelled kind of weird. YUTHGONWILD.
I love it.
We've
And I
had some
had to have a
comments.
second one for a while that had a number 2 after it because I lost it for about 6 months. The copyright claims that you don't really know about. It's kind of like this, like disgruntled band members will put a copyright claim on. Pretty Boy Floyd is a big one that gets everybody, like pretty much everyone knows now not to post those because you'll get a copyright claim. And then I had 2 other bands that did it, and it was all in a short time, and I didn't know it was happening until all of a sudden I couldn't reach my channel at all. And I had over 300 videos I couldn't even access. And I was about to go to that Monsters on the Mountain. This was last August it happened. So I was going to this big festival, and my YouTube channel was gone. And then a couple weeks after that, I was going to Sweden to see Eric's 100K subscriber festival, or not festival. It was at this bar, and he did an acoustic set. So I had that too. So those things are on my second channel.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
we'll put them in the description so anybody can find them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Def Leppard used to tag for copyright, and now I think they just realized that the more people are talking about them, the better it is for them, and so it's fine now. So I had issues with Facebook in 2019 with Def Leppard stuff, and now nothing. So I'm glad that they I get that.
I mean, they all say copyright on them because I think they can, get the funds or whatever, however that works. But it's when you get the triangle with an exclamation point in there, that's when and I didn't know what it was. So anybody who uploads videos out there, if you get that little triangle with the thing, look for an email and stuff, because I guess I was getting them, but you get so many emails you don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. So
absolutely.
So are you posting snippets from the concerts you go to?
I will normally do like a couple of videos from each band that I do. So if you go on there right now, I've got about 350 videos out there, and it's a full song that I do.
So we can live vicariously through you. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I always keep my video down. I hate people who they're at a concert and they got their arm up in the air like this, in the front row, and then everybody behind you can't even see. All they can see is your stupid cell phone. So I always make sure it's low. And people complain about, how low my videos are, but it's like, well, you want me to be an asshole? Sorry.
No, you're trying not to be obnoxious. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I just keep it where no one can see it behind me. So, but the quality, I think the sound is pretty good on those videos too. So.
That's awesome.
Well, I know what I'll be doing for the next week. But no, I'm glad, because just like what you've done alone in the last 6 weeks, I can't wait to watch and to see them.
That's like more than we've done in a year. I'm like so jealous. I was telling Katya before you got here, I was like, dang. I'm like, she's living it. She's living it. So jealous. We'll get there.
We'll just
we're one concert a week is I average, I would say.
Wow. Well, she's in the right spot though. You know what I mean?
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I just wish Vegas wasn't so hot.
AC.
AC. Yeah, that's how you're.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Oh, I
Okay,
love
so
it so
Dan, I
much.
have to ask you, did you see Rat play? Did you see the Rat reunion?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're actually playing at Vamped in a couple of weeks here too, but they're $250.
Whew.
And I just saw them at M3, but I've also seen Stephen Piercy with a different lineup several times just in the last couple of years. So I mean, it sounds the same. It's just got Warren DeMartini and Carlos Cavazo are in the band too now, but they've got Blas Elias on drums, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so they've still got a lot of the same band. Of course, Stephen Piercy is the voice, and he sounds great now. He's really cleaned up his act and
Do you
performs
know
well.
the last time I saw Stephen Piercy was with Arcade?
My
Okay,
goodness.
long time ago,
Okay.
Long time ago. We won't say how many years.
mid '90s,
Yeah. Early
Well, how
90s.
did,
I think.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you said Piercy sounded good. I have to ask, how was Dave's voice?
Mm.
Not quite there anymore. What's funny is he had this like 4 or 5 backup singers that were singing a lot of it through the whole thing with him. I couldn't see them because I was at the far side of the stage, and then they had all these speakers lined up, so they were blocked. The only way I knew there was other people up there on the stage on this little side platform was looking up on the big monitor. I couldn't see them. So when you see my video of David Lee Roth, you don't even see these guys because they were blocked from my view. But they were singing through it with him, so it kind of covered it up. And he
I
was just
feel
doing a
like
showman thing.
I feel like that's smart. I
Yeah.
mean,
Me too.
how I
Yeah.
know people will have different opinions of that, but I feel like if Bon Jovi were to ever go on tour, I feel like he needs the backup. Don't hurt yourself any further. We
Don't kill
love you
yourself
for
doing
what
this.
you've
Yeah.
given us, and that's why we're there. So, if you need extra support to give us a show, take the extra support. I think that's
Yeah.
smart.
Well, and
You
also
know,
it's good for the fans too, right? Because then you get to hear the music how you want. I mean, of course you'd want it
how
just
you
to be him
remember it.
singing it, but
Yeah.
how you remember it, some quality sound. So I'd be fine with.
Yeah.
Well,
And you
plus
just
with
got to be
yeah,
part of it, the whole atmosphere and everything.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, the whole, uh, amphitheater just went crazy. Everyone was just like, and like Kip Winger was standing like right behind me watching, and the security was trying to kick everybody out, and then this head security guy comes up. He's like, "No, you can't be kicking him out." And Kip Winger's just standing there just watching. So it's kind of cool.
Wow, right on. Right
and did
on.
he tie up the entire weekend or was he Saturday night?
No, he was Saturday night,
Hmm.
and then
Okay.
Piercy was the closer on Sunday night.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So did you get to see Winger? Were they part of it, or was he
yeah,
just there?
they were
They
part
were
of
part
it.
of it.
Yeah, I've
They
seen him
were.
Yeah.
quite a few times in the last few
See,
years too.
they sound great.
Yeah, yeah.
They sound great.
His
Talking
new
of concerts.
album is great too, and
Yep.
they did not play that. Is it Shattered Glass or something like that? One of the new songs, and I was looking forward to hearing it, and he didn't have
Oh.
it on the set, but I've heard him do it live before, and it was really
Hmm.
good.
I think that's what they played
And
in in California when I saw them. They played one or
Yeah.
two of the new songs.
and did everyone play about an hour set or were they longer than that?
That's probably about 45 minutes, and then the headliners were about an hour.
Yeah, that's
And then the,
quick.
the couple of bands in the beginning, I think, were only about a half hour. So it just kind of builds up as the day goes.
Okay.
On either day, did you see any surprise collaborations?
Not this year. Everyone kind of stayed to themselves. Um, the year before, they had Bret Michaels uh, close out the night, and he had a lot of people come out on stage and sing with him.
Yeah, he
So it
does.
just kind of depends, but not really anything like that this year.
Did you see Steve Brown hop on stage at all? Because I know he did a pre-show and I didn't
Yeah.
know if he played.
He was, yeah, he played on Thursday, I think, and then on, I think, Saturday night, he played at Merriweather, which I wasn't
Oh,
at. I didn't.
Okay.
So I should have went over to that hotel afterwards, but I was by myself and didn't want to just like show up. So next year I'll stay there and not miss anything.
Well,
Right.
but that's also like after 10 hours of concert, you're like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And you're going back the next day. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
Holy
then I went
cow.
to work on Monday. I
Oh,
flew
That's
in.
the way
I
to do
had a
it.
plane at 6 in the morning, and with the time variance, it
yeah,
gave me
you
a
made
little
it.
time. So I landed at 9, and I was into work by 10 a.m. So,
I was like, bow down
Holy
to the queen.
cow. So
That is incredible.
seriously,
I love that.
holy
I
cow.
love
I'm
it.
like, Advil
And
is my
you know
new best
what?
friend.
Okay, Amy and Diana, there is like in June, there's a handful of concerts I want to go to in different cities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm catching a 6 a.m. flight home to try to make it to work the next day too.
the problem with a 6 a.m. flight is that you got to be at the airport at 4 a.m.
Exactly. So no, I'm with you. I was like, do I get a hotel that night or do I just like go from the
Stay at the
concert,
hotel.
have a
Or, I
drink,
mean,
and
stay at the
then
airport. Yeah. Yeah.
head to the airport?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
So
you
I'm,
suggest no hotel? I'm going to take
I
notes. Just
stayed at a
kidding.
hotel. I set my alarm, and then I called the front desk and asked them to give me a wake up call too, because I was afraid, you sleep through
yeah.
it. So,
Yeah. So I have a question. Like, okay, so you did Friday and Saturday, right? There's no
Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday. I
Saturday,
worked
Sunday.
on
Okay.
Friday.
That's what it was. Okay, sorry. Uh take me through your Saturday. So like the lineup starts at 1, you're kind of walking in, and who's the first band that you see?
Well, my plane landed at 6 in the morning on Saturday because I worked
Oh,
all day
this.
on Friday, and then my flight was at like 10 o'clock at night. Landed at 6. My mom lives out there, so I met
Okay.
her for breakfast. Took her for an early Mother's Day breakfast, and then I went over to the hotel, and they didn't have my room ready yet, so I went shopping a little bit around the area. Went back like an hour and a half later, checked in at a little after noon,
Mhm.
and just went up, changed my clothes, and then went over to the concert.
Wow.
So I missed the first band, I think, because
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah. Yeah. So who did you get to see on Saturday then?
The first one that I saw was Steven Adler. Actually, I think Spread Eagle played too, and then Steven Adler.
Okay.
And so I've seen him quite a few times too. And
We
let's
Who
see,
was
yeah,
who's
Slaughter
singing for
after
Stephen
that.
Adler? Huh.
It's Ari Carmen.
Okay. Every time I
And
just
he's
hear
got a
Steven Adler, I
few.
just hear Miss Skylar Jade go a little crazy. So every time I hear his name now, I just smile. So I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay. So Slaughter.
Yeah, Slaughter, and then Winger. Except was one of the top sets for the
Mm-hmm.
weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they start playing, and you're like, oh, I remember the song. Yeah, I remember the song. There's some of them that you forget. And of course, Balls to the Wall, everybody knew that. And that's what they closed with.
All right.
Um, and then David Lee Roth came on after that.
Okay. Who's your favorite of that day?
So that day would have been David Lee Roth, just because he kind of surprised everybody. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
say, except after that, just because the other bands I've seen so many times. You know.
Nice. And then what about the same for Sunday? How did that go?
For Sunday, the first one was Vixen, and I've seen them quite a few times now. They've got Rosa is singing for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She just joined them like a year and a half ago, but I think I've seen them like 4 or 5 times already with her.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
I just saw them like 2 weeks before M3. They played here with Quiet Riot. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
then Lita Ford, seen her quite a few times. Great White,
Mm.
with
Brett.
Brett Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting
Mm-hmm.
his name right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. And I just saw them a few months earlier, and they're playing here again in a couple months. with Steven Adler and Slaughter, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one of those, it's mid-July outside.
Battle of the fittest.
It'll be
That's what
about
it's gonna
115 degrees. And that's Skid Row did that a couple of years ago, and that's where I met a lot of people here in town. Was at that Skid Row show that was outside, and I don't know why they do it at that time of year.
just to see who can. Well, so I have to ask you: did you meet any new friends at M3 this year? Any fellow fans?
I know a few that have been going each year, so we all kind of know each other, and everybody kind of gets their own seat, and you just kind of see each other. Like a lot of them have been going for so many years that they all kind of know each other, like family. You know, they've been going for 15 years, but I've only been going a few years, so I know a few people.
That's awesome.
That's fun. And I also have to ask, did you pick up any new merchandise?
Well, with the VIP seats, they give you a M3 shirt, and it's got, you know, for each year. And so this year, you know, it listed all the bands on the back and then the M3 logo on the front. So
nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And I guess this isn't anything like Coachella, but are there any? Is it more of a like concert you go to and enjoy, or were people like all out dressed up for this?
Actually, the ones that go all out dressed up for these festivals are the really young girls. They're like, I don't even know if they're old enough to drink. They're like very early 20s, very young, but they've got the big Aquanet hair, leather pants, you know. I mean, they look like we did in the 80s, kind of, but a little more. It's almost like they mix in Vanity, if you remember that band from the 80s, where they're kind of wearing even less than we did back in the 80s, if you can believe that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No, I do.
Yeah. I feel like they got to get it out, though. You know, everybody has a little. I have to think that most girls have a little bit of an 80s girl in them. So, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I get that. But we just get to sit back and go, been there, already done that. You know, except, you know, I have to say though, when we were doing that, the musicians were at least closer to our age. You know.
Well, back in those days, everybody looked like a rock star. The fans looked like rock stars, and the rock stars looked like rock stars. Everybody was dressed up for the shows. And now nobody looks like a rock star. You know, the rock stars just get up on stage in their sneakers and tees, you know, and everybody in the audience, you know, nobody looks like a rock star anymore. It just kind of flipped.
Okay, no, I can't remember. Was it Accept who had a great red outfit going?
Sounds like Lita Ford, but
it could have been Lita Ford.
Yeah. She always wears a bright red. But you know, Accept was, I'm sure, wearing leather.
Yeah.
You know, when they went on stage.
And I do appreciate the way Vixen is pulling it out too these days.
That's who it was. Brit Lightning. Brit Lightning was the red leather. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, are you looking forward to next year?
Yes. I guessed which weekend it's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be the first weekend in May like they usually do. So I have already reserved my hotel to make sure, because the earlier you reserve, the less it's going to be. When it gets closer and they're almost sold out, it's even
That's
more.
what we looked at too. We actually looked at that. We looked at whether or not we could make it. We looked at the Merriweather, and it was like, we're just going to throw it out there. It was like $750 a night. And we're like, what?
Right now it's like $350 to $400.
Right, because we looked before they announced the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were guessing which weekend too.
Yeah. And so we looked, and it was at $350, and then as soon as they announced the show, whoop, skyrocketed. So I was like, oh well, one year we're just gonna have to decide that we're gonna go regardless of the lineup, and book and pay for that.
We're gonna book every weekend in May.
And they have a lot of other hotels around, and you can just, Uber over to the concert or whatever. But like I said, it's more, more of an experience if you're staying at the actual Meriwether Lake House. And it's a Marriott property, so, if you're a Marriott member, might be able to get a little better rate.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at points.
But
Points
yeah, coming from an experienced M3 goer, if Meriwether is a place to be, then that's what we should be doing. But
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely regret when I didn't stay there. So.
But you made it to the concert and you didn't take any time off work, which is probably one of the most impressive things.
I know. And then went to work the next day, or that day.
Yeah.
Flew through the night and went straight to work.
Yeah. Well, like there was a Skid Row show where they were playing San Diego, and I work in Vegas, and it was middle of the week. And so I worked till about 4:00, got on a plane at 6, flew down to San Diego, went straight over to the venue, and then got on a plane at 6:00 to get back to work. So I didn't even miss a day, and there wasn't even a weekend involved.
I'm going to do that for a Wednesday sabotage show.
Yeah.
I'm totally timing. I was like, I'm going to catch the train, get out there. I was like, I get on a train in the morning. I can be back in time. I do appreciate this, Diane. I'm glad someone else thinks like me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. I just want to fit in y'all's suitcase and just go along for the ride.
There's no time for suitcases, Amy. You just have to go.
Oh, shoot.
Backpack.
Yep. Clothes on your back. Backpack. Backpack.
Toothbrush in your pocket. Let's go.
Like $50 round trip, but you have to live out of a backpack.
Yep. Hey, if it's a day. Seriously. Yeah. Dang. Yep. All right. Okay. We're getting it.
And I have to say, overall, well organized, good crowd. Was it like?
Yeah, they've pretty much got it down. So they've been doing it for so long. So, and it seems like everybody knows each other there. So.
That is so. That's what I love. That's what I.
And they come in from all kinds of countries too, and all over the United States. It just everybody comes out.
Wow,
it's fun.
And I didn't expect so few tickets. I thought this was like huge. Your stadium of 30,000 people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a regular size amphitheater.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Maybe next year. I don't know. How was Warrant? Because Jerry Dixon was with them performing for that show.
Yes, he did. Yeah, you never know if Jerry's going to show up or not, but he was there.
Yeah.
So. And I've seen Warrant a lot of times because they were touring with Skid Row for a while, and I was going to any Skid Row show that I could go to. And so they were playing, and Jerry probably played about half of those shows.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. The one that my husband got to see last October, he was not there. So it was a boys' trip. I didn't get to go. They rode motorcycles, but
I think
I know, but when you
travel really far, he doesn't necessarily do it, but he did for M3.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would like to see.
No, I thought
the full lineup.
Great lineup, great.
Yeah, and it's everybody, except Jamie. And Robert Mason does a good job on vocals. So I mean, they're one of the few bands that's almost 100% original still.
Yeah. We'd love to talk to somebody from Warrant. We'll have to get that figured out. That would be fun. So outside of Warrant, so you said David Lee Roth closed the show on Saturday. And then Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini on Sunday? Is that who?
Yeah, they were the headliners on Sunday.
Like, I know we touched on that a little bit, but what was your overall thought? Like, I mean, you've seen them before, but for those of us who haven't seen that lineup, I mean, there was a huge buzz. It was supposed to be super exciting because here they are kind of back together. What was your take? What was your take on that?
It sounds like just back in the day, I used to go see them back in the late 80s, early 90s before, Arcade happened, like we talked about earlier and everything. So I have seen Stephen Piercy in between that time where it was just, he was phoning it in, you know, it was just not good anymore. And I think he was just maybe drinking a lot or something, but he's really cleaned up his act now and, you know, cares about what's going on and just really putting on a good show. And his voice sounds, you know, almost, you know, back what it was back in those
Yeah.
days, you know, and the whole band, he's got a full band of talented musicians playing with
Yeah.
him. So it's
What
definitely,
was
if
your
you haven't
favorite
seen it, you
song that
need to.
Nice. What was your favorite song that they
Uh,
played?
I would probably say You're in Love.
Okay. But they
Yeah.
did them all, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Round and Round, of
Yeah.
course. You know, if you haven't heard Round and Round yet, you know they're not done. You know, they pretend like they're going off stage. I'm like, yeah, you haven't played Round and Round. You're not done yet.
You're not done. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah. All right. Who else among Sunday was your favorite, would you say?
Uh, Ace Frehley was pretty cool.
Oh.
I've seen him a few times, but you know, he had everyone was confused when they watched the videos. They're like, "Who's singing?" Because they all, you know, there's a drummer, guitar player, bass player. They were all kind of taking turns on different songs on who was singing, but all of their voices led correctly to each song. You know, it was, you know, how their voice was. So they evened it out pretty well. And you know, of course, he ended with his guitar smoking and everything. So
Yeah.
I've got videos of that out there.
Right on. That sounds like so much fun. Oh my gosh. And then I can't get over the fact that you jumped on a plane and then were at work the next day or the same day.
Yeah.
So,
And I got to
living
learn
in
how to sleep on a plane. I don't know. I try.
did you
I
just
can't.
drag or did you manage?
Just managed.
Yeah.
So I knew, you know. And then when I got home, I think I ate dinner and went to sleep until the
Yeah.
next morning and went to work again.
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah. So exciting.
Just makes
So,
Amy,
it better.
I just have to say it's espressos. That's all what life is
that I was
about
gonna
here.
say
You just have
caffeine
to like
induced, caffeine induced.
love,
that's,
love.
that's
Yeah.
where I was going. I was like, that would have been me. Oh my word. And then so you said you're in Vegas and you hit about a show a week,
Yeah.
right?
So we'll see what happens when Vamped closes because
Yeah.
that's where most of the shows are. So
Okay. Who's your favorite that you've seen? Is that where Last in Line plays? I'll go back to that when they're there.
um,
Or have you seen
they
Last
might
in
have.
Line?
I saw them. Well, Andrew Freeman plays all over
Okay.
Vegas. I see him a lot. He does
Okay.
something called Rock and Roll Church on
Oh,
Sundays. Not every Sunday, but he's got this group of local musicians that come out, and you know, that's maybe once a month, and
okay.
that's at a different venue. But he does that, and then he does this other thing at Vamped with where they just a group of musicians get on stage and people yell out different bands, and they'll play a song from that band. So he did that once. Mission to Rock is what it was called, I think. But yeah, he's pretty involved with the Vegas music scene
Music
right now.
scene.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So back to that. I'm sorry. I just was like, wait a minute. I've been meaning to talk about Last in Line and Andrew Freeman and I kept forgetting. So I interrupted myself. My ADHD is on full display. Uh, so in the last few months, like what's the best show that you've
Glad I went to London to see Eric front Michael Schenker because everyone keeps saying that he's playing here in the States and he's not. He's they had I forget the name of the person that's playing here, but yeah, Eric was only singing for Michael Schenker on the European tour, and then some of the festivals out there.
Yeah.
So,
And how did
I saw
Eric sound? Amazing. Like amazing.
no, he's great with. I mean, he's like a chameleon. He can sing anything, and it
yeah.
sounds great. There's videos all over on YouTube. I've got quite a few on mine. You know, and he just has a way of just bringing the whole audience in. You
Yeah.
know, so,
It's
I am
pretty
just always,
incredible.
every time Eric has a new song on YouTube, I'm blaring it everywhere because it becomes my new favorite because he's just amazing. I've never seen him in concert, and that's why I have to live through YouTube. So I'll do it on your channel too.
Seen him like 22 times now between Skid Row and his the acoustic show he did, and then the 2 times with Shanker. So
Wow.
And we were actually on a bus. We had the London gig the first night, and then the other gig was in Bristol. And so we all took this public bus. There was like 5 of us in the back of this bus, and Eric's Poison cover dropped. And so we're all with our earphones in the back of the bus listening to Eric's cover like over and over again as we're in this bus to go see him play the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm totally seeing your necklace. But did you? I was so jealous of people at that Heat show where he jumped on, total surprise, sang 3 songs. I was like, oh my word. Ugh.
And we knew it was coming. He told us when we were hanging out at Bristol, he's like, don't say anything yet, but I'll be jumping on stage with Pete in Spain. And some of the Spain GPC members, the Gronwall, fan club members, some of them were suspect of it too and kind of knew it was going to happen. So, they all went out there to see it. So I think there was
gone
like
to see
5
Heat.
of those fans that were there to see it.
I would have gone to see Heat anyway, but holy cow. To see him, did he, okay, so I've seen just snippets of videos. Did he jump over the drums or just jump down from the riser? It looked like
so
he
dark, I couldn't quite tell. That would be something, huh? Over crash.
I thought he jumped over the drums. I was like, what the heck? And then just, wah! And then,
I think it came around the backside and then jumped down.
Whatever it was, it looked amazing. It was like, we'll just say he jumped over the drums. That's great. Because, like we're just, that's how, seriously, that's where we're going to put it. Because I was like, oh man, like we've had the latest, and forgive me, I did the same thing when we were talking to Eric. I don't know the name of the album because my husband just turns it on. We've been doing a lot of work outside our house, and we had Heat blasting all through the weekend doing this yard work and all the stuff that we're doing. And so I just kept, once I heard that, I was like, oh man, just to even see these guys live, and then just to have Eric and Kenny's voice is just, I mean, can you imagine having both of them on stage and seeing that live? Oh my gosh, just
hopefully they do more shows like that. Even if it's just a few for the fans.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Well, Diana, we've taken up like all of your lunch. So I hope you can
snack. For my diet.
I was like, I hope you get snacks up to eat super fast. Let me tell you.
Water.
I know. The water and espresso. That's what
no doubt. Well, we totally want to have you and Brenda on to talk about NAMM. So we'll have to do that in the very near future. So we'll connect and get that time worked out with you when you're not traveling to a show on at some point. But
and I want to hear about those shows too. Yeah, we'll just keep.
I know. I feel like we just need to like go to a Hard Rock and eat something or have a few drinks and just chat, because I feel like you have exactly what we want in terms of your show capacity and just seeing all the bands and all of the things, like seriously. So anyway, that would be fun.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Take care.
Bye.
That was fun. And Amy, as we were talking about all year, we should have been there.
We should have been there.
Should have been there next to Diana rocking out to this. That would have been fun.
That would have been a blast.
And, after this, I need more concert reviews from Diana, too.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And she's got them all. Like, you know what? I really want to figure out how to get a hold of or look into Davy Vane. Like, wouldn't he be
Oh
amazing to
yeah.
speak to? But we haven't
Oh
seen him in forever, and she has. So, Diana, I'm pretty sure you're watching your own episode. So, we want to chat with you about Davy Vane. We want to chat with you about Vane. You know,
yeah.
absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Just
Well,
yes.
and also, speaking of Steve Brown, who we
Oh
totally
yeah.
adore,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
wish we had been able to see his pre-show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
this week, I saw a very kind of touching, cute little
Oh my
story that
gosh.
Pete
Yeah.
Loran of Trickster put out of their
Yes.
days recording with
Yeah. One
Bobby
in a
Kimball of
million.
Toto, and how
Yeah.
he came in and gave them pointers, and there's video of it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Another one of those little clips or stories I've seen that just so
Love
heartwarming.
it. Yeah, I love
Beautiful
it so
musicians
much.
helping musicians,
Yep,
mentorship
yep.
in there. It was
You
really
know,
nice.
I had, and she'll get a kick out of this, but I'll keep her nameless right now. She has been following Trickster and a fan of Trickster for a very long time, and she actually sent me a cute little uh, clip with Pete with no shirt on and said, "Have you seen Trickster's new, or have you seen Pete's new video?"
That's right. He
And I was
does
like,
pop.
"Oh my
Oh,
word."
you know what, Amy? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Oh, she did. She did.
Oh,
And I absolutely
Amy, of
loved
course
it.
I did.
I loved it.
Wait, hold on.
Oh
Where
my
is I?
gosh, it was great. She's in Florida, so she was
Of
so cute with
course I
it. And I
noticed.
yeah, yeah.
But I didn't
I
want to
love it so
start out.
much.
Have you seen the video clip of Pete with no shirt? No, it's the story that's important.
Right, right. But I love it when people send us those things because, I mean, truth be told, I
Mm,
had already seen it because Pete had shared it and I clicked it right away. But when she sent me that, I was like, oh my gosh, it just tickled me so much. But again, if you are following
thank
or
you,
on our
friend.
socials, yes, feel free to send us all the things. Have you seen? Have you seen? Have you seen? Yes, if we haven't already seen it, we would love to take a look at it. So don't hesitate to reach out and send us those fun things. We'd love to talk about it. If you have not seen the video that we're referring to that Pete put out, it will be in the description below. So make sure you do that. We're going to be sharing some pictures, Diana's videos from M3, and all the things that she has uploaded on her YouTube channel. We have linked that in the description below. So make sure you check those out. For us, make sure that you like and subscribe, share the show, help us grow. Oh, that was catchy. Uh sorry.
We're gonna
I
do
made a
haikus
rhyme.
next.
I know. Oh my word. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. You know the drill, you know all the business. So if you don't know where to find us, just look in the description below. Send us
Yep.
a note. Alrighty.
And
I
Aim,
love you, babe.
don't forget.
Don't forget. Rock the life. Oh, we did it out of order. No, no, no. Don't forget.
Don't
Rock
forget.
the life.
Rock the
There you go.
life.
One of these days, I'm going to have to tell you where that comes from because that's actually a thing. So,
Okay,
alrighty.
we'll do that.
Love you.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Bye.